Hey everyone, thanks for being here. Thank you, Tracy, for having me. My name is Jennifer Valor from the Simplified Office, and today I'm going to talk about how I adapt my schedule, especially semester to semester, because I've got a few things going on and I'm multi passionate. So it seems like we feel like we need to, I don't know, like we need to schedule out every minute of the day. And then next thing you know, it's so strict and it feels like, oh, I can't get it all done. Well, there's a reason for that. You probably say yes too much to things you really don't want to do, and probably don't have very many boundaries in place, if at all. So I'm going to kind of talk more about how I got into time management and what I do, and then I'll talk about how I change my schedule pretty much every semester because I'm going to school. And just because stuff comes up, life happens, and I like change is inevitable. So I want to make sure I'm able to do all the things that I want to do. So, like I said, I'm Jennifer Valor from the simplifiedoffice.com. I'm a time management coach and strategist for solo business owners, virtual assistants, coaches, bloggers, and students. And I'll help you with prioritizing time management productivity. So when I got into all of this, I was actually from the coffee industry. And hi, Adrian, thanks for popping in. And I wasn't good at time management or being organized at all. It wasn't until 2011 when I owned and operated 2 coffee drive-thrus that I realized, oh my goodness, I have got to figure out how am I going to get everything done, do inventory, pick everything up in my marketing, all while keeping the line moving efficiently in a tiny space. So I ended up putting like a business binder together type thing, had all my inventory, organized my coffee drive-through. So all I had to do was stand in one place, spin around, and I didn't have to move and shuffle and run here, run there. So it was super efficient as far as organizing and how I managed my time during the day. And once I figured that out, I realized, wow, there's a lot more time now. And then I just started doing other things and or creating new dreams or did more marketing in those downtimes. Also during this time, I was in an abusive relationship. So I was starting to purge about 80% of my stuff. And since I had figured out how to get it organized and more productive with the business, I started helping my neighbors. They were all direct sellers at the time. And they all had a home, so they all had home businesses. They were stay-at-home moms. And of course, their lives were really crazy. So I wanted to just get out of the house, have something to do, but still stay close so they knew where I was, kind of thing. Well, the lease I knew the lease was coming up. And I figured, okay, it's kind of now or never. I'm burnt out on the coffee industry, although I love it. And I need something new. I need a lot of big changes to start over with my life. So my neighbors ended up encouraging me to pursue my management, productivity, and home office organization. And as I say, the rest is history. So being organized actually kind of saved my life. It gave me the mental and physical space I needed I had more courage and I didn't have to worry about packing so much stuff. And I planned the steps I needed to take and what to do to finally leave. So now today, I moved back to my hometown near it, and I have gone back to college after 12 years. I'm going back to college for business administration. I graduate in December this year, 2020. And so I go to school part-time. I work part-time. I'll be picking up a second part-time job. Like the first one is 8 hours. This one, it'll vary. Plus, I'm also building my business on the side, getting clients, promoting myself and everything as a solo business owner who's multi-passionate. And I'm also managing my chronic illness, which has forced me to learn to know my energy levels throughout the day, more self-care, and to just know when to push and when to pull back and actually rest. And now I know what kind of tasks I could do. Like if I'm not feeling like being at my computer, and if I want to sit in bed, then I'll work on tasks that I don't have to think so much, like social media, engaging with people. I don't have to focus so hard. Whereas for a project, like I want to build a course or a new service or something like that, that takes a lot of focus and energy. So when I have flare-ups, then I know those aren't the times to do that. So how I manage all of that is with I do a lot of batch tasking and time blocking. It's the biggest thing. So since rest is a huge thing, I need to. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm graduating in December, so haven't yet, but I'm getting there. I have 2 more classes after this semester in the fall, and then I'll be done. Yay! Thanks, Adrian. Yes, I couldn't believe how confident I felt once I knew, okay, this is here, this is here, this is here. The organization was very therapeutic for me. It took out a lot of that, or it redirected a lot of that anxiety and anger and scared and determination. And I had somewhere to focus it into instead of like start drinking or something. Yes, walking quiet time. So I actually see this as a blessing and a curse from my abusive relationship, is that I went from a relationship that was I was almost needy back then. So we spent a lot of time together. I didn't want to be by myself. Well, that abusive relationship, he didn't want anything to do with me most of the time, like barely any physical touch, just that, or a hug or anything. So I had to really learn how to be okay with being by myself, learning how to utilize my time so I'm not just sitting there thinking about everything, and making like intentional quiet time, whether that's a nap or doing a project or working on the business somehow or helping my neighbors or babysitting, whatever it was. So it really forced me to learn to sit and be quiet. And I'm so glad because now I have to have my quiet time, and I'm an introvert. So that really helped in that aspect as well. Right. So when I time block on my calendar, I don't schedule every part of the day. I can't. It just doesn't work for me. It's like my too strict of a schedule. It's like my inner teenager comes out, that rebellious, no, I don't want to kind of thing. And then all that anxiety builds up and you procrastinate more. So building in that white space in your schedule has helped me be able to shift my schedule around as needed. It was a huge adjustment, but it was personal growth and it was something I needed. And looking back, I mean, I'm glad it forced me to do it. So it was one of the silver linings, I guess you can say. So when I schedule things now, I schedule my priorities, not the other way around. So sleep. I like my sleep. I have a set schedule. I've always been a morning person. So, and I know I don't function if I have less than 7 hours of sleep. So I find out on my iPad app, okay, I want 7 hours of sleep. I have to wake up at this time. It tells me what time I got to go to bed. Okay, that goes in my Google Calendar. And then I include what time I eat lunch, about when I eat lunch, when I eat dinner, what time I want to have office hours. Now I had to schedule when my classes were, when to do homework and study. So I have classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Oh, and I work 4 days a week, from like 7 to 9. And then at 10 o'clock to 11:30, I have class. Yep. And then I come home or run errands while I'm out before I come home and do homework, since it's still fresh in my mind. So those, and then I'll work a little bit on marketing or client work. So for me, I don't do the typical task batching, I guess you could say. Like I'm still solo, but I do mostly creating content, engaging in comments, posting on LinkedIn, Facebook. I don't really set a schedule for when I do that. I just know I've gotten into a habit of doing it a little bit every day. So right now, for me, it's whenever I can get to it, I post kind of thing, and I engage. Not so much of the whole, oh, I have to post at this time and this time and this time. So I'm consistent as in posting every day, not necessarily at the same time, if that makes sense. Right. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, since I don't have class those days, those are my work on a project, on a business project, more client work. Most of my client work, calls, and then Saturday and Sunday. One day, I try to take off most of the day, and just rest and relax and do something fun. And then the other day, I'll work half the day and then kind of relax and chill the rest of the day, depending on what's going on. I'm kind of a workaholic, so I'm trying to get better at stopping my day at 4 o'clock. Now, lately, it's been closer to 5. And that's a whole other story of stuff going on. But whenever, okay, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be picking up a second part-time job. I'm going to be tutoring at school. I've had tutoring, but I'm going to be the tutor, and it's a paid gig. So now, when I get someone to tutor, they'll have to work around my schedule to get together, and that'll be another thing. But I can but I get to set my own schedule for that, which is another reason why I wanted to do it, right? So it's all about having control of your schedule as much as possible that you can control. That way, when life happens or um, school delay or like my health flares up, I know that I can move things around if I have to. But let's see, like Monday and Tuesday this week, I felt pretty useless. I was having really bad chronic illness day. I mean, I still worked, I still went to class and everything, but I just could not think or focus or put words together very well. So I'm glad this was today instead of a couple of days ago. But knowing this, I have to just be okay with, all right, I'm just going to curl up on the couch and watch TV. Or my big thing, I love video games. I'm a pretty big gamer. So that's one of my self-care things to relax. To have my little fantasy world, my friends outside of business and everyday life, because none of that matters. So knowing priorities and boundaries, it also helps to know what to say yes to, what to say no to, and I know what projects I can get done because I know for the most part how long things take me to do. If it's a new project, like creating a new course, originally, so in December, I had kind of planned out my business projects for the first quarter. Well, yeah, for the first quarter, but I wasn't sure exactly which classes I was taking this semester. So I had already kind of outlined when I was going to what I was going to do the project when. But once I knew what my classes were and realized it's going to be a little bit heavier workload than I intended, I had to just accept, okay, I'm still going to get this project done, but this semester is not the right time for me right now. I don't have the energy for it or the mind capacity. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to move it to quarter 2 or quarter 3 this summer instead. So I'll just work on ideas and outlines and things as I think of stuff in like Google Drive or whatever. And then I'll refer back to it when I have more time to sit down and really focus on it. I'm actually a great single tasker. I'm a horrible multitasker. I do not recommend it. It's another reason why I don't like the corporate world. But I'm one of those people, I guess I would consider it a work sprint. If I want to work on something, I can easily sit down and start working on it. And next thing I know, like 3 or 4 hours have gone by. I have to remind myself to eat. How many of you have to remind yourself to eat? So to prioritize what needs to be scheduled, you need to look at your values, priorities, and your boundaries. Keep in mind that these can change throughout your life after a huge experience happens or you have a big transition in your life. Like when I left an abusive relationship, I was very particular. Like once I learned time management and everything, I have put more boundaries in place about, okay, you do not mess with my time. Me being on time is 15 minutes early. I will wait till maybe 5 minutes after it's supposed to start at most and try to get a hold of you and see what's going on, make sure you're okay. If it's something small, oh, I'll just be a few minutes late. Right? Yeah, sometimes my boyfriend has to remind me to eat too. Or he'll say he's hungry. And I'm like, yeah, probably time to eat. So I totally get that. But you also have to look at the trade offs, because whether you say yes to something or no to something, it's still a decision. You got to think about how it'll affect your current situation. And if you do try to take on a project or something and then you find out it's too much, then you're going to have to gracefully move it or just temporarily back out. Say, so maybe like, okay, maybe this is not the best time right now. I'd rather do this when I have more mental and creative energy to work on it, kind of thing. Okay, thanks for popping in, Adrian. Hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. So let us know you're finishing up. Yeah. So don't feel like with your schedule it has to be the same all the time. Life happens, things come up, opportunities come up, creativity inspires us. So we want to make space for all of that. We need a lot of space. That way it won't feel so bad when you have to shift things around. It's all about adapting to what you need to do. But I don't mean like canceling appointments all the time. We got to have deadlines to make sure we stay on track and accomplish things. When I say adapting, it's more about you have those restrictions in place, you have those deadlines in place, but you leave yourself space. If you get sick or something, you know. All right. So, any questions so far? If you do have any questions after the fact, put them in the comments. I'll come back and answer them at the reply. If you would like some of my time management free resources, I've got 4 or 5 resources options right now. It's a bundle, so it's just put your email in once and then you get all of them. I will put that link in the comments. So if you're having a hard time with your schedule right now, you're all over the place, you don't feel like you're getting as much done as you want to, in the comments type discovery call and we can talk about how I can create a customized coaching package for you depending on what you need. My most popular package right now is a 3-hour ideal schedule done with you intensive. It's $500. And in that, we'll go through your values, priorities, boundaries, and then we'll talk about what works, what doesn't, and I'll help you, based on all of that, I'll help you organize and create your own customized ideal schedule. And this has helped clients so much. So if that sounds good, let me know, put in the comments, and I look forward to hearing from you. And again, if you're on the replay, do hashtag replay. Thank you, everyone, and I will see you soon. I'll see you in the group. Bye.